So then where's the controversy? If it's safe, why are all these countries banning it or restricting it? Why do we have all these regulations? What's the concern here?
So the concern definitely stems, I feel at least initially from the optics of this. I mean, when you're thinking about what we just spoke about, if you have a choice between that being done to the food you eat and not, I think that's, kind of spells out at least initial concern.
It just looks bad.
Yes. And again, you are definitely you're having these plants produce proteins that they don't normally make.
Right.
So it's kind of one of those things of where theoretically there could be issues because you're altering some gene expression. You're injecting genes. So where it does become somewhat more difficult is like you're asking, is parsing out exactly what occurs. The main concerns, whether theoretical or with a small study or a larger study, whatever the case may be, involve allergies, cancer, GI and bowel issues. And then kind of on the other side here, it's important, but it's just, we're still mainly talking about consumption, but environmental issues.
Okay. All right.
So from an environmental standpoint, there are definitely concerns, and there's certainly a lot of regulatory pushback or, people being very upset about what it can do. There's a higher increase, and this is definitely dovetails into our concerns too, but there's a net increase in herbicide use. So it fosters the growth of herbicide resistant weeds, and generally negatively impacts just the entire ecosystem. That can affect the animals around and things like that. So
is that because if you're engineering the plant to be more herbicide resistant, then you feel safer hosing that sucker down, which then leads to the weeds and everything else becoming more resistant in an effort to survive?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. I can see how that would be a problem long term.
Yes.
Cool. Wonderful. All right.
So this is one example. And again, just to kind of get back to the basics here, if the focus is, oh my goodness, they're injecting genes and that this stuff is terrible and it's bad for me, that's fine. But ultimately what it's doing again is making that DNA produce a given protein.